All right, welcome to this edition of the Bo Jackson Elite Commitment Spotlight. I want to thank AJ Solomon for coming on here. He's a middle infielder, utility player. We'll get into that a little bit more. But recently committed to Gardner Webb down in North Carolina, and wanted to jump on here and ask AJ some questions. So AJ, thanks for joining us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. Doing well, doing well. So let's dive in. Kind of take us through your upbringing, your history in athletics, and we were chatting a little bit before we hit record. Multi-sport athlete. We'll jump into all that. But where'd you grow up, and how long has baseball been a love of yours?
Okay. So I was born in Indiana. I moved 5 times in my life because of my dad's profession. He's an assistant basketball coach at Dayton University right now.
Yeah.
But so I moved a lot in my life, had to adapt to many different situations and environments. So I feel like that's helped me a lot in in athletics and everything. But I played basketball also. I would say my first love was probably basketball, and then I picked up a baseball probably when I was 5 years old, and I started playing t-ball. And my dad really pushed me to play baseball because that was his first sport he ever played, even though he coaches basketball right now. But he always pushed me to play baseball a little bit. And so yeah, I moved a lot, and yeah, just many different places. Lived in many different.
Yeah, that's awesome. Talk to that a little bit. Your dad, you said, is an assistant coach at the University of Dayton, and what was that like, kind of growing up with a dad coach? That's a totally different experience, right, than
Mhm.
kids. And talk a little bit about how that just kind of impacted how you view the recruiting process. Your dad's big in recruiting and on the basketball
Mhm.
side, and how did that affect kind of how you as a family navigated that?
We definitely were more patient, just knowing everything that goes on in the recruiting world. Even though basketball recruiting in basketball and baseball is a lot different. Obviously, because it's not full scholarships, not many full scholarships and everything. Um, but and baseball is a lot earlier on. Like, you're getting recruited way earlier than in basketball. Um, and so that was different. That was different for him to for me talking to coaches when I was just finishing my freshman year of high school. So it was different for him to see that happening. But it was definitely me living in the same house as a coach. Definitely helped me be a better athlete because just made me more mature, beyond my years. And I've always felt like I've acted older than I am. So yeah, I definitely think it's helped my maturity and my competitive mindset and everything. I would say I have a pretty mature competitive mindset. And but yeah, having a coach in the same house as me is definitely impacted me in a positive way.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So, you bounced around a little bit, but you ended up in Ohio at Dayton, Chaminade, Julienne High School, and highly competitive, in multiple sports. But from a baseball standpoint, you guys won a couple state titles, correct? And so talk to us a little bit about, just your time there and how successful that program has been and what that experience was like playing there.
Well, well, I moved to Ohio like a month before school started. And that was the first time that I moved here, and so I shadowed CJ, and I liked it when I shadowed. And then I ended up going to school my freshman year, played through the basketball year. I played varsity as a freshman, and then I showed up late to baseball workouts because our basketball season wasn't over yet. And so they hadn't seen me. They just had heard about me that I was a pretty good baseball player, but they never seen me play, so they wanted to see it for themselves. Um, and I ended up, like, the first practice I went to, we had pictures that day, so they made me take pictures in the JV picture. So I was in the JV picture, and I never was in the varsity picture. And so the first practice I went to, I hit off the tee like twice, and they just were. I could just tell they were all just looking at me like, oh, he probably gonna be on varsity. And but yeah, Coach Barhorse, Mike Barhorse, and his son Todd, made a big impact on my baseball career so far. Um, Coach Barhorse believed in me being a young freshman. Believed in me a lot right from the start. He never treated me any type of way because I was a young guy. He played the best players, and he never wavered on his faith in me. Even when I maybe wasn't playing as well as I could, he never wavered in his faith in me. So I really want to thank him for that and everything. But CJ as a whole, I love the school. I love the people there. I love the faculty. It's just a great school in general.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit, let's go a little deeper. To win a championship in anything is like, I mean, that's just an amazing, deal. But in 2018 and 19, CJ won the state championship. And what, if you could put your finger on some off-field dynamics, what makes everything so special there? Relationally, culture-wise, like if there's an edge that you guys have, what is it?
Obviously, you need a special group to win the state championship. Any type of championship, you need a special group. And I would say that we had a great leadership. One of our seniors, Ryan Peltier, he plays at Ball State now. He was a great mentor to me when I came in as a freshman. But I would say one thing that like really put us over the edge, even if we weren't more talented than the team that we were playing in the tournament, we always beat them because we were just so close as a team, as a unit. We were brothers, and like we just were brothers, and we were so close that we were going to do it for the next guy. We weren't playing for ourselves. It was way bigger than that. And so I would say that put us above any other teams because how close we were and leadership we had from our seniors and our head coach.
Man, that's some awesome stuff. We could get a whole second conversation going on that front. You and I might hit you up again just because, what you're describing is the secret sauce in athletics right there, and it's awesome. Let's switch gears a little bit. Talk to us about the dynamics of being a two-sport athlete, and that's a hot topic these days. Everyone's kind of pushing for specialization and at early ages, and just, how do you think it helped you as an athlete to develop to play two sports, basketball and baseball, and what were some of the benefits that you felt? You're heading to Division I baseball, but talk to us a little bit about balancing both those.
So obviously basketball and baseball is different sports, a lot of different things you do, but it's a lot of the same movements, quick twitch movements. And I feel like that basketball has helped me, my reaction times quicker, definitely helped me become a better athlete. Just I can run both. I can use my speed on both in both sports and everything. But one thing that took away from maybe playing baseball, because coming into high school, I didn't know I was gonna end up playing college baseball. But probably just it maybe took away some of the time I could have put into baseball, because it took up a lot of time. But still, like I didn't want to specialize that early, and my parents weren't pushing me to specialize in a sport. As a freshman in high school, they wanted me to keep playing both, become a better athlete, and I just didn't want to burn out in one sport. So basketball was kind of a time to get away from baseball.
So you feel like, even though you obviously love both sports, you mentioned get away. Talk to us a little about that, and just balancing, the grind or consistent focus. You enjoyed maybe having an outlet that was another sport, or talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously baseball is a stressful sport. Fail way more than you succeed, and that can take a toll on you at times. Definitely can mess with your mindset. Definitely mess with your head. But basketball is just kind of a way to get away from it, play a different sport, use different muscles. I wasn't overusing one muscle group or anything, but it's just a way to get away. I love basketball, playing it and everything, and I played at a good high school, so yeah, it was just a good way to get away from it.
That's awesome. That's really good stuff for sure. Let's switch gears a little bit, and you played with the 2021 Bo Jackson Elite team this last summer that was super talented. I mean, a lot of Division I commits, a lot of talent, and a lot of guys that will play significant college baseball innings. And what was that experience like playing with those guys? And how much did it help you grow as a player? And then talk a little bit about Coach Valentine. He's been around the block here and he's had a lot of players come through, and just the overall experience this last summer. Talk to us about that.
So the past 2 summers with Coach Valentine, definitely been great. He lets you play, lets you be yourself, play like you know how to play. not too not too hard on you. Just lets you play and play your game and lets you play through mistakes and everything. Um, but and yeah, he has a lot of experience with the recruiting process. With after committing, he's committed a lot of players, and so and that definitely was a big help for me. He'd helped me a lot in my recruiting process and everything, getting me in contact with coaches in different colleges that I was interested in, and onto the players on my team, the Bo Jackson team. It's definitely great to play with highly talented players that are going to Power Five conference schools, and lets you be seen by those schools, get you more exposure to play with better players, um, and also, yeah, also them also playing with better players also like pushes you to be better. And like obviously I'm a competitor, so like I'm gonna want to step my game up and try to play as well as them or better than them. So it just definitely like makes you compete a lot harder, um, and just pushes you to be better.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, that's really good stuff. And you guys had a super talented team, and you were absolutely right in the heart of that. And that's really cool. So let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk Gardner Webb here. When did your interactions with that coaching staff begin? And talk to us a little bit about kind of the early goings of that recruitment process with Gardner Webb. And, there was a coaching staff change, and were you in the middle of that in terms of recruiting? And let's kind of jump into that.
So I went to the Future Games last summer, and they ended up seeing me there. Coach Chester, he had become the coach, the head coach on July 1st, and the Future Games were sometime in early August. So he was just getting in town, pretty much just getting into his office. He had asked Corey to Coach Valentine to get me in contact with him, and Coach Chester ended up calling me the Monday I got back from the Future game, and he right away, right from the start, the first conversation I had with him, I enjoyed talking to him. He always thought I was a great fit right from the start. He thought I'd be a great fit in their program and what they were trying to build. Um, and he wanted me to set up a visit. He ended up trying to set up a visit, wanted me to talk to my family, set up a visit. But then in October, I set up a visit for October, sometime in October, and I went on an official visit there. I enjoyed the players a lot. I really got along with them well, and then I really love the coaching staff. I love Coach Chester. I love what he's about and what he's trying to build there. He's known for turning around programs from all type of levels, Division II, Division III. So I mean, why wouldn't I want to be a part of a turnaround of a program and try to make a big impact on it? And but yeah, I went there on official visit in October, and after that, they stayed in touch. They were very patient with me. They waited on me, and very patient, never wavered on how much they wanted me, or never lost patience with me and my family in this decision. So yeah, and then came back, and then they kept in contact with me all the whole school year, and then came to the summer, kept in contact, and just way things. I was trying to wait and try to see like if I could compare it to other places, just to like see if I can make a comparison. But way COVID messed things up, and that kind of messed that stuff up for me. The coaches not being able to come out to see us play this summer, but yeah. But I ended up deciding that Gardner Webb was definitely the best fit for me, and try to come in right away as a freshman and make an impact. Yeah.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, you're spot on. Coach Chester is very well respected and had a lot of success at Barton College, a really good Division II in the South, and he knows the area. And like you mentioned, it has a track record of, of building things. And, talk to me a little bit, your experience at Chaminade Julienne and the culture there and the leadership there. And were there things that you heard from Coach Chester that you felt like this is, I absolutely have to be a part of this building process? And what are some of those things, if you could share, just that was so attractive from the building process that he's on here?
Um, well, like specifically individually with me, what he was telling me, he just thought I could come in right away and try to make an impact, and I could have a good chance of coming in and playing right away. But what he's building there is just the winning mentality, honestly. Try to make his players tough. He seems like he's a tough coach, and it rubs off on his players. So they play hard, and I definitely got vibes from there that were like Chaminade Julienne and how Coach Bauer's coached us and everything. They seem all the players seem close with the coaches and everything. It's never didn't hear any negative things towards them, and they seem like they were a close family. So I feel like that's a big part in winning. You need a close knit group, put them together, and play hard for each other. And I feel like that produces winning. So that's what I saw at Gardner Webb.
Yeah, you certainly have a track record of being a part of that, in terms of toughness and family and winning. That's awesome. You're going to fit really, really well there. So what else, is there a couple of things that really excite you about Gardner Webb? Obviously, Big South Conference is no joke, right? There's some really good, Division I baseball down there, even though it's not a Power 5. You're going to run into some big-time programs on those midweek games. And as you set your sights on all of that, what are some things that excite you, and how do you process that from a mental, emotional standpoint of this is a whole new challenge and a whole new level, and what goes through your mind when you look at all that?
Sure. I've always going through this process, I always said that I wanted to play down south. Just want to play in warm weather. I've always been in the Midwest, pretty much my whole life. So I wanted to get away and be in warm weather 24/7. And but yeah, also yeah, I'm very excited for the midweek games. Play Power Five schools. I love to compete, so that is definitely exciting to play against the best of the best. So and then yeah, the Big South college level, college level pitching, definitely is I'm gonna have to make an adjustment to that, but I'm not really worried about that. I feel like I can make an adjustment and compete wherever I'm at. But yeah, just making a jump from high school to college, definitely gonna be different. I'm gonna have to learn more and learn a lot, but I feel like I'm excited to keep working and prepare myself to be able to play college baseball right away.
It's awesome, man. So cool. So talk to us a little bit. What kind of advice would you give if you had the chance to go talk to, an 8th grade version of yourself, now that you've moved through this process, you've been to the big events, you've had the, phone calls, you've taken visits, and you've navigated all that. What kind of advice would you give to a younger, AJ in terms of how to handle this and how to stay on the path that's in front of you?
What I would tell my younger players or my younger self, I definitely would say to play more, play for the love of the game. Definitely don't get caught up in the recruiting process. Don't get caught up in other people on your team that are committed early on. Don't compare yourself to others. Honestly, just God has a plan for each and every one of us, and it's going to be different. Everybody's going to have obstacles. It's going to be a different path for everybody. So don't compare yourself to anybody else in your recruiting process or your just your ability level at that time. You gotta keep working even when you get to college. So yeah, just I would say play for the love of the game and work really hard, and so you're ready for the opportunity when you have exposure. Work really hard for that opportunity so you can perform and show college coaches that you can help their program. You can be an asset for their program. So definitely just work really hard and perfect your craft, and so you can be ready for that exposure opportunity.
Man, that's some of the best stuff I've heard there, especially from a guy as young as you. You mentioned earlier in the interview that maybe having a dad as a coach, or a coach for a dad, helped elevate wisdom and maturity. And man, it's definitely on display with some of the things you're saying there. Just I think you're so prepared to head into collegiate baseball and to navigate everything that's in front of you. Obviously, you got a full year here to enjoy and finish high school. But the things you're talking about in terms of mentality and owning your path is incredible. And thanks for sharing that stuff. That's awesome. So, well, we really appreciate, having you on, man. And thanks for taking the time, and just congratulations. We're so pumped for you. I can't wait to tune into some Gardner Webb Big South baseball, and we'll be following you up here. And we're really pumped for you. So congrats, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. We'll talk to you soon.